Oliver Glasner will leave Crystal Palace at the end of this season. So the question is, what happened? Because you have a manager here that went into a team, gave them their first trophy in a very long time in the FA Cup, and is absolutely competing for European places. All of a sudden, he is not getting the backing. He is talking about not signing the contract, and now he has come out to say he is going to leave in the summer. At the end of this season, Oliver Glasner will leave Crystal Palace. So what happened between winning the FA Cup, when Steve Parish is meant to sign this man to an extension, to now Oliver Glasner saying, I'm out. I'm going to do my best to the end of the season so we can get the record amount of points, but that is my cutting call. What happened between that time? And that is what we're going to be telling you here. First things first, Oliver Glasner has already confirmed he is going to leave at the end of the season. He says his decision was made months ago after a private dinner with the chairman Steve Parish in October. Of course, that was the international break. Where he told the club that he wouldn't renew his contract. He's publicly framing it as wanting a new challenge, and says he hasn't spoken to other clubs despite the links that has already gone on. But the truth, we don't know about that situation. So why now? Why this angle, and what is happening? Because the timing of the story, you have 17 games left. Might be ridiculous because you are a sitting duck, and Crystal Palace will probably not be able to bring anybody in January because they know that Oliver Glasner will be leaving at the end of the summer. Even if this decision was made in October, the public confirmation in mid-season is a problem. We all know that. Controlling the narrative could be a positive. You get me? Gives Palace a runway to find a new manager. That is also a positive, because a succession plan is definitely something that Steve Parish, I know, has down the pecking order. He knows who he wants at this point, and he is going to be working to bringing them in the summertime. Of course, this also protects the dressing room. Clarity can be better than uncertainty for the most part, but it can also create an end of the era philosophy. Now, in my mind, the way I see Crystal Palace, they will want to absolutely play their hardest in order for them to send off Oliver Glasner in the perfect way that they can, because they are losing Oliver Glasner and they are losing Marc Guéhi in the same day. That is a problem in my mind. It's truly going to be destabilizing, or maybe it's going to push them to a higher position in the league. Third in this situation is that Palace identity angle. He gave them a ceiling that they hadn't touched before. That is what Oliver Glasner gave them. He gave them a defined system, a clear principle, not just survive, but hope that you can actually do more. A genuine sense that Palace can punch up and actually start delivering major silverware. Recently, of course, the FA Cup. The FA Cup, it's pretty clear they defeated Manchester City. Or is it Manchester City or Liverpool? They defeated one of them. I think it was Liverpool. Now, when you look at this situation, Palace aren't a little Palace anymore. And that is because of Oliver Glasner. He built the club now to be able to attract more players, to attract better players, and to be a club that is not only challenging for middle spot or challenging for survival in the Premier League, but now challenging for European places. And that right there is all Oliver Glasner's job. Fourth in this situation is the squad ambition and tension in terms of that situation. One of the most interesting threads in today's reporting that we can all see is squad depth and squad building. It's a problem that Man United have. It's a problem that Liverpool have. They don't really have a problem in that situation because they are built, but it's a problem that a lot of clubs have these days. And The Guardian has already said the situation of the realities of why juggling European and the hint of dissatisfaction around the structure of the club is truly the reason why Oliver Glasner is not going to be there. Basically, in this sense, Oliver Glasner has outgrown Palace's current pace of investment. It's shocking to me because Steve Parish is a man that knows how to put money into his club, is always ready to invest in his club, and his ambitions to go high was always recommended and was always appreciated. However, in this situation, Oliver Glasner's ambition has basically broken the ceiling, and the investment did not follow. The investment in the club did not follow. The change of ambition from Steve Parish to the team did not grow, and that is the reason why he is not signing a new contract. Because now he has an opportunity to go back to Germany and manage maybe Borussia Dortmund, manage maybe Bayer Leverkusen, and in fact could be able to manage Bayern Munich if Vincent Kompany leaves to go to Manchester City. There's so many abilities and so many problems, but another reason why he could be leaving in the summer is because they could not convince Marc Guéhi to stay. And that Marc Guéhi domino has already fallen. Because whether you know it or not, Marc Guéhi has decided to go to Manchester City. Manchester City have literally, as we speak, closing the deal to sign Marc Guéhi. The story absolutely was supercharged because it is not just the coach. It's Marc Guéhi nearing a move to Manchester City when the coach fought for Marc Guéhi to stay during the summer, when he was likely to go to Liverpool. Now he's leaving in January because Marc Guéhi was not signing any contract, any renewal contract. And the funny thing about it is that the reason why he stayed in the summer was because they could not get a replacement in time. And in January, they're still not going to probably get a replacement in time. And those things are the things that annoy a manager ASAP. Now, the truth about it is that Oliver Glasner will not be out of a job for too long. We already had the links about Manchester United wanting Oliver Glasner. The speculation is there. And the good thing is, both parties will part in a respectful way, not in a spicy way. You split respectfully, and Oliver Glasner can go to a club a bigger club that would match his ambitions. A bigger club that would actually ask him to raise his ambitions. And we all know that Oliver Glasner seems to be a big club manager. He has done it in Frankfurt. Now, he might have the opportunity to do it in Manchester United. He's a profile system kind of coach. He's a culture builder and a tournament mindset, someone that can actually change people's way of thinking when it comes to the tournament and actually go for it. So Oliver Glasner is definitely somebody that we believe is up there in terms of Manchester United's shortlist. And then when you look at Steve Parish and his and the Crystal Palace board perspective, Palace can run a proper process, a style fit, a recruitment alignment, and a staff continuity. They have the time to do that now because he has come out to say it. It feels like Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. How he came out to say it, that he's leaving Liverpool at the end of the season, and they were able to find Arne Slot. And Arne Slot won the league the next year. They can also replicate this situation. Maybe not winning the league, but absolutely finding somebody that would take this team into another height. You understand? They can keep the same tactical identity to protect the squad value, or they can bring a new coach and accept a transitional window. I do not believe accepting a transitional window is smart. You have built a team, and that team is still there. You need to bring a centre-back that would replace Marc Guéhi, but get a manager that is in the same vein of Oliver Glasner and continue this process. So what happened next? What happens next for Crystal Palace? Do the players loosen up because their future now is known? Do the performance spike for one last ride, one last dance kind of situation? Does it affect January decisions, if any, or summer plans? Plus, Palace are competing in multiple fronts. They're reporting the context in that situation with the league position and the Europe position. So the key part about this situation is we need to understand what is going to happen after Oliver Glasner goes, and Steve Parish, it's on you on that point. We need to understand whether it's going to be a manager that is in the same vein as Steve Parish in order for them to have the success that they had, and we need to know who would be the Marc Guéhi replacement. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Crystal Palace fans, let me know in the comments whether you love this move or not, and whether you are happy that Oliver Glasner is leaving in a good way. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys hit that follow button and go watch the Marc Guéhi video that I'm going to be posting right here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.